All right. Hey guys, Catlin here with your help for the last lesson of the week, lesson 7 here in Unit 7. We're looking at exponents and we're just getting a little more practice with them when the bases of them are rational numbers. So we're seeing fractions, we're seeing decimals. How do we handle that? Just some practice with it. So in this first example here, we have 9 to the third over 9 to the ninth power. Now, if we were to write that out, all right, in expanded form, essentially what we're seeing here is 3 nines on the numerator and then 9 nines in the denominator. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more. 9 nines. Like that's what this expands out to be. But we've noticed a shortcut for this. Instead of having to draw this every time, we notice that it's division, so we can use our rule where we subtract 3 minus 9. So this is really the same as 9 to the third minus 9, which when you do that subtraction, you end up getting a -6, which makes sense because we've got, after cancellation over here, we've got 1, 2, 3 in the numerator that are gone, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 nines in the denominator left over. And what we've learned from our fifth rule is that we can rewrite this as a positive exponent by putting it in the denominator underneath underneath the number 1. So it's like having 9 factors or 6 factors of 9 in the denominator with just a 1 left over in the top. So multiplying by 1 doesn't really change anything up there. All right, and so that's how we would write that one with a positive exponent. All right, let's look at the next one. 14 to the negative third multiplied by 14 to the 12th. This falls into the category of our first rule, where if we're multiplying by the same base, we can add these two things together. So this is equivalent to 14 to the negative third plus 12. Now, I could write that out in expanded form, but I don't really feel like writing 12 14s. So I'm going to do this the way that we've learned with our rules. It shortens things for us. We can add these two things together, and since the signs are different, we actually are subtracting their absolute values. We get 14 to the ninth power. That was really easy. All right, let's look at number 2. So Diego wrote 6 to the fourth times 8 to the third equals 48 to the seventh. And we have to explain the mistake and how we know that that equation is not true. Okay, so the equation is wrong because he tried to apply the rule we just used by adding the exponents. But the problem and the mistake is that you can't apply exponent rules when the problem here is 6 and 8 aren't the same. Okay, you can't apply exponent rules when bases aren't the same. Okay, that's the mistake. And we know that this is not true because he's just multiplying 6 times 8 and adding the exponents. And a lot of people want to do that, but we can't. I mean, we didn't multiply 14 times 14, right? So this is the mistake, and this is how we know it's not true. It should uh, it would work if both were the same. If we had 8 to the fourth and 8 to the third, actually, you know what? They wouldn't even work if they were both the same because he made the mistake here of multiplying 6 and 8. You can't apply the exponent rules when the bases aren't the same. And let's change that. Let's change that to you don't multiply. That's a P. You don't multiply the bases by each other. By each other. So there's like 2 mistakes he made, really. He tried to apply a rule for something that couldn't be applied to, and he even applied the rule wrong by trying to multiply the bases and get 48. So we know that it's not going to work out for him. So there's like 2 reasons why that's wrong, and it's not true. And that's it. A pretty short cool down for this week. We are going to have a quiz on Thursday. It's our last day of the week this week because we're out Friday. So remember to come prepared Thursday with your homework ready to go, and we will do the quiz together. We're probably going to be a fairly short quiz. As you can tell, these are not long problems. So be prepared to work on missing homework if you have any from last 9 weeks. And also, I'll have some kind of game or something set up that you can do when you get done. I think I'm going to do a bracket challenge as well with our class. So we might set that up, and you can make your picks for who you think might win the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Later.